Mary was a 67-year-old grandmother who had been taking care of her 8-year-old grandson, Liam, ever since his mother, Emily, died in a tragic car accident 2 years ago. With her gray hair always neatly combed and wearing modest, well-worn but clean clothes, Mary did everything she could to provide for Liam, despite living on a small monthly pension. Each day was a careful balance of making ends meet while trying to keep Liam's childhood as normal and happy as possible. One sunny Tuesday morning, Mary and Liam walked hand in hand to the local grocery store. The bright colors and towering shelves amazed Liam, whose curious eyes took everything in while Mary studied each price tag with careful attention. She placed only the basic necessities in their cart: a bag of rice, a carton of milk, a loaf of bread, and some vegetables. Items she knew they absolutely needed and could afford. As they passed through the cookie aisle, Liam spotted a familiar blue and white package of chocolate cookies, the same kind his mother Emily used to buy for him every weekend as a special treat. "Grandma, these are the ones Mom used to get me. Can we get them?" Liam asked, his eyes lighting up with joy and remembrance. Mary felt a lump in her throat. Though she had mentally calculated every penny of their shopping trip, seeing the hope in Liam's eyes made all her financial worries seem secondary. After a moment of hesitation, she placed the cookies in the cart, silently hoping she had enough money. When they reached the checkout counter, Mary nervously pulled out her small coin purse. She began carefully counting quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies with slightly trembling fingers. The cashier, Brad, a man in his 30s with a name tag pinned to his blue uniform shirt, watched her with growing impatience. He let out a loud, dramatic sigh that caught the attention of everyone in line. "Coins? Seriously? This isn't a bank, lady," Brad said loudly, crossing his arms and rolling his eyes. Mary's face flushed with embarrassment as she tried to count faster, but her nervous hands only made the task harder. Liam looked back and forth between his grandmother and the rude cashier, sensing something was wrong, but not fully understanding why the man was being so mean. Brad continued his public humiliation. "You couldn't count these at home before coming here and holding everyone up." He glanced at the growing line behind Mary and Liam. "Folks, I hope you're comfortable. This is going to take forever." Some people in line began to whisper and shift uncomfortably, while others looked down at their phones, pretending not to notice what was happening. As Mary's counting continued, she realized with horror that she didn't have enough money for everything. Her heart sank as she looked at the package of cookies Liam was still holding hopefully. "I think we'll leave the cookies. Just the other items, please," she said quietly, her voice slightly shaking. Liam, understanding their situation better than Mary realized, quickly forced a smile. "It's okay, Grandma. I wasn't really in the mood for cookies anyway," he said bravely, though the disappointment in his eyes was clear. Mary's heart broke at her grandson's attempt to make her feel better about the situation. Brad grabbed the cookies with obvious disdain and placed them aside. "Finally," he said with another eye roll, "maybe now we can finish this line." Looking at the customers behind Mary, he added sarcastically, "Thanks for your patience, folks." Not everyone knows how to shop properly. A few people laughed awkwardly, while others looked uncomfortable with his cruelty. Just as Mary was about to finish counting her coins with trembling hands, a well-dressed man wearing designer sunglasses and a stylish jacket stepped forward from the line. He had been quietly watching the entire scene unfold. The man removed his sunglasses, revealing intense, expressive eyes. "That's enough," he said, his confident voice cutting through the uncomfortable atmosphere of the store. Everyone turned to look at him, including Brad, whose smirk began to fade. "Do you always treat your customers like this? Or is today just a special occasion?" the man asked with a hint of sarcasm but clear authority. Brad, not recognizing who was speaking to him, tried to maintain his superior attitude. "And who are you exactly?" "Her lawyer," he scoffed. The man simply replied, "No, just someone who thinks everyone deserves a little respect." That's when whispers began spreading through the line. "Wait, is that Robert Downey Jr.?" someone said loud enough for Brad to hear. Brad's eyes widened in shock as he realized the famous actor was standing in his checkout line, witnessing his terrible behavior. "Robert Downey Jr.?" Brad stammered, his face suddenly pale. Robert stepped closer to the counter and looked directly at Brad with his characteristic intensity. That's right. And now you know who's asking you to treat people with dignity. He then turned to Mary and Liam with a warm smile, noticing the cookies that had been set aside. Those cookies look fantastic. I think they should definitely go home with you today. Robert then did something unexpected. He asked Brad to cancel the transaction and told Mary and Liam to get a new shopping cart. Let's do a proper shopping trip. I want you to pick out everything you really need. And Liam, you can pick out some toys too. Mary shook her head, overwhelmed by the offer. I can't accept this. It's too much, she said, her voice trembling with emotion. Robert gently took her hand and said with genuine warmth, You've done so much for him. Now it's my turn to help. Sometimes accepting help is the hardest and most courageous thing we can do. Liam looked up at his grandmother with hopeful eyes. Can we, Grandma? Please. After a moment, Mary nodded and whispered, Thank you, truly from the bottom of my heart. The three of them walked through the store aisles together, with Robert encouraging Mary to select proper groceries to last them for weeks. Fresh fruits, vegetables, meats, and pantry staples. He insisted she not worry about prices. Liam, grinning wider than he had in months, was allowed to pick out a few toys, books, and of course, several packages of his favorite cookies. Mary also selected some new clothes for Liam, who had outgrown most of his wardrobe. As they returned to the checkout area, Brad had been sent to reorganize the stockroom by the store manager who had heard about the incident. A new, friendlier cashier rang up all their items, and Robert paid for everything. The other customers in the store, having witnessed the entire scene, began applauding. Some even approached Mary to offer words of support and encouragement. A week later, Mary received an unexpected phone call. It was Robert asking how she and Liam were doing. During their conversation, he shared more surprising news. He had arranged to set up an education fund for Liam that would cover his schooling all the way through college. He deserves every opportunity, Robert explained, and you deserve peace of mind about his future. Meanwhile, the story of what happened at the grocery store had spread across the internet after a customer posted a video of the encounter. Thousands of comments praised Robert's kindness and condemned Brad's behavior. The grocery store management used the incident as a learning opportunity and implemented new customer service training programs focusing on empathy and respect. Brad, deeply ashamed of his actions after seeing himself through others' eyes, volunteered to lead some of these training sessions, sharing what he had learned from the experience. He also personally visited Mary's home to deliver a handwritten apology letter and a bouquet of flowers. I didn't know what you were going through, he admitted. That's no excuse, but I want you to know I'm working to be a better person. Mary graciously accepted his apology, recognizing his genuine remorse. One sunny afternoon a month later, Mary sat on a park bench watching Liam play soccer with his new ball and some neighborhood friends. She noticed a sleek car pull up nearby, and Robert stepped out, dressed casually but stylishly. He was carrying a small gift-wrapped package. Hi, Mary, he said with his characteristic, charismatic smile as he sat beside her. I thought you and Liam might like this. Inside the package were beautifully framed photographs of Mary and Liam from their shopping day, along with a handwritten note that read, To remind you that kindness always wins. There was also information about the education fund he had set up for Liam, ensuring his future would be secure. Mary hugged Robert, tears of gratitude flowing freely. You didn't just change our lives, Robert. You restored my faith in humanity and gave us hope when we needed it most. Liam noticed Robert and ran over excitedly, showing off his soccer skills and new friends. As the three of them talked and laughed together, other families in the park recognized the famous actor, but respectfully gave them space, understanding the special bond that had formed between them. Before leaving, Robert promised to check in on them regularly and invited them to visit the set of his next movie. As his car drove away, Mary held the framed photos close to her heart, thinking about how one act of kindness had created ripples that changed not just their lives, but the lives of everyone who heard their story. She knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, she and Liam would face them with renewed strength and the knowledge that there was still goodness in the world.